Hey everybody, it's James here from NeuralNet Games, and today we're talking about Prosperity 2 items. We're talking about the head slot, we're talking about the hand slot, single and double. There will be spoilers for Prosperity level 2 here, so here is your fair warning. I don't know why I'm doing that. That's me filling time for you guys' entertainment. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Okay, let's get to it. So, first, we're talking about... Well, not first. We're going to go worst to first. We're talking about the weighted net. We're talking about the empowering talisman. We're talking about the battle axe. Why did I split it up this way? Because I felt like it. It just made sense. There's 7 items at Prosperity level 2, and so I just split them into 3 and 4 to, keep the videos manageable. So, we're going to start with the weighted net. I'm going to talk about as much detail as I think is reasonable without, talking about a bunch of other spoilers. So I won't be talking a lot about unlock classes, but more generalizations about how the item works, what's more powerful, and what makes sense. Okay, let's get started. Let's get to the weighted net. Okay, let's start off with the weighted net. First off, the price is pretty fair for what it does. Spend it to immobilize a monster on a ranged attack. And it is good, but it's actually quite awkward, and we'll get to that. But first of all, why can't a weighted net hit more than one monster? If movies have taught me anything, it's that nets can catch more than one thing. Just saying. It feels to me kind of like the piercing bow, where it should have been like an AoE ranged throw, right? You throw the net's gone. It's around the monsters, and it immobilizes them. All right, I won't keep talking about that. So why is it awkward? It's awkward because you want to be using this item in like a long rest build. Like, it's better if you kind of try and group your items, right? You either want a decent amount of spend items or consume items, because if you have a bunch of spend items, you can kind of work around long resting, and then you increase your power curve by having, 5-6 items that are refreshing each long rest. And that, is really good for certain classes, especially classes that are going to be up front in melee range, attacking a lot and taking some hits, because shields and armor are generally spend items. And so this is awkward because it's a ranged spend. So really you'd want to use this more with a ranged kind of control class, but it fits more in with spend items, which are going to be used, more, not all the time, but more by these frontline classes that really want to use shields and armor. So it's just a bit awkward. So even though the ability is fairly good, it's just a bit of a conundrum, right? It doesn't really make a lot of sense. That being said, Immobilize can really help you nerf melee monsters. Like against a melee monster, a tough melee elite, immobilizing is very often as good as stunning, as long as they don't pull that one annoying ranged card that some of them have, and then, go ahead and hit you anyways. It's pretty comparable to Stun Powder. Stun Powder has a better effect. Yeah, you can only use it once, but you can also use it on every attack. So they're pretty comparable in power, and they're also the same price. But I think, Stun Powder is just more versatile. It works really for any class, right? It's just something that's a Swiss Army knife. We're not talking about Stun Powder in this video, but in the next item discussion video, we definitely will be talking about it. Make sure that you subscribe, because I'm talking about every single item from every Prosperity level. I've already done all of Prosperity 1 up to this point. I'll put a playlist link down in the description, so you can go and binge watch my videos on, as many items as I've done at that point. And also, this item, the weighted net, it kind of runs out of steam maybe in the next couple Prosperity levels, where there's, better items that are going to have more significant effects that you'll want to keep, or that you'll want to take instead. Next, we've got the Empowering Talisman. And the Empowering Talisman, She's pricey at 45 gold, but it is a very strong effect. You can refresh any consumed small item, and consumed small items have some of the most powerful effects in the game, and so you can really abuse those items like a minor stam, and I don't want to get too far into the other ones because they're at much higher prosperity levels, a lot of them, but you can do some very seriously good things by refreshing a consumed small item. And I just want to let you know, item 141, I don't want to spoil it, but anyone who's playing the class that uses this solo item, item 141, you can't refresh that item. There is official errata for that. Thank you to Roxana Rabarber. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know if the RHA is stands for something or if it's part of the name. But Roxana, thank you so much for pointing that out. I missed that one. I did not know. And so, yeah, you can't refresh it, but you can refresh all the other consumed small items. Hopefully. There's probably another one out there that I don't know about. There's too many things to remember in Gloomhaven. I live my life in Gloomhaven, and I still can't remember them all. Anyways, okay, let's move on. So you can use it. It's like a Swiss Army knife, right? You've got a great small item. Let's say you use the Cloak of Pockets, right? And you're level 5. You're going to be able to carry 5 small items, right? Yes, 5 divided by 2, rounded up, equals 3 plus 2 from the Cloak of Pockets. 5. The math. So you can have 5 small items. That's a lot of different effects. And in Gloomhaven, sometimes I think flexibility gets overlooked a little bit. Having that kind of flexibility, having an item where you can go back and get your healing potion if you want, or you go get your stamina potion to reuse your best cards over again in the same rest cycle. Or maybe you go and you get a power potion because you want to drop another big AoE and it makes sense. It's really good for flexibility, and you can just do so much, and it scales really well as well. There's a lot of competition for the head slot. So like by prosperity 6, you're going to be fighting pretty hard with other items for this spot, but it definitely can work. It can scale all the way through because, as you get better cards, you can use your stamina potion, or, as you get better items, you can refresh those consumed small items. So it scales really well, and it just does a lot of things. It's very nice. I used it a lot, even at 45 gold in my campaign with my group. It was always a hotly contested item just because you can do so much with it, and it really allows you to abuse certain builds and certain strategies. Just wanted to let you know, I started a Patreon, and I've got a lot of cool benefits in there. I'm going to be playing games with people. I'm, putting exclusive campaign plays in there, raw footage of me playing, so you can see my thought processes, my strategies. And if you're looking for a way to support the channel, that's the way to do it. Link is down in the pinned comment. And then also, I've started a Twitter account. Yep, I finally did it. It took me till I was in my 40s, but I have a Twitter account. I'm posting all kinds of cool board game news. Like I just, linked to the new Gloomhaven expansion, Crimson Scales, just put out news on that. And then Primal Awakening, the late pledge, that's coming up. Or that's open now. And so I've got lots of awesome board game news there, and cool happenings, and sometimes just some fun stuff. So make sure you follow me on Twitter. I only have 22 followers, so hook me up, please. Okay, let's move on. I've begged enough. Last but not least, we've got the Battle Axe. The Battle Axe is cheap, it's useful, it's powerful, it's probably better than the Empowering Talisman. I mean, in this list, I technically have it ahead of it. They're very close in power, though. The Battle Axe is just so good. It just does damage. It's only one-handed, which it does not look one-handed. Some of these things, it just don't make any sense to me. It's like this huge, barbarian, two-sided axe, and it's no, it's one-handed. I guess if you're Arnold Schwarzenegger or something. Okay, so what does it do well? Well, take something like Grab and Go Bottom, right? 4 move, and then Boots of Striding, 6 move total, Balanced Measure top. At very low levels, Brute, attack 6 one target, attack 6 the next target. And don't forget, too, that it turns your melee attack or adds a target to your melee attack. So if it's like wound and poison, now you get to wound and poison somebody else too in addition to whatever you're doing. But remember, insta kills don't work. Like something like the Brute's Fatal Advance, that is not an attack. Insta kills are not attacks, so you can't add targets to them. Just remember that. So, anyone out there using Fatal Advance and, insta killing two normals, that's coming to an end. Sorry about that. The Battle Axe does have a lot of competition at Prosperity 3. The item at Prosperity 3 is probably a little bit better. And there is a decent amount of competition later on. But this is just a good, cheap, effective solution for anybody that's got hard-hitting, single-target melee attacks. Like the Lightning Bolt class and the Scoundrel. Like the Scoundrel just loves the Battle Axe. I mean, you can do some ridiculous things with it. So even though it's not insanely powerful, you can use it quite a ways through. I mean, it's good pretty much all the way through, even though it's not always the best option, just because of its combination of it only takes one hand slot, it's fairly low gold, and it does very good things for certain classes. So that's pretty much it. I just want to say thank you for watching the video, and a big thank you to my subscribers, and just an even bigger thank you to my patrons. I wouldn't be here without any of you.